order in the court.
Hi everyone, Paralegal Man Sam here, and welcome to my channel. Real quick before we get started, I have to give everyone a disclaimer. I'm a paralegal, as the name says, not a lawyer. As such, I'm not allowed to, nor will I be giving any legal advice on this channel. I'm going to be outlining, discussing, and explaining various legal topics to give you a better understanding of how our legal system in America works. Be sure to like and subscribe if you find the videos informative, and if there's any topics you want me to cover, make sure to drop them in the comments below. All right, let's do this. Hey everyone, today I'm going to be discussing what probate is and some of what goes into the process so you can better understand it. A big thing to keep in mind is that probate rules can vary significantly from state to state, so I'm only going to be discussing some of the general guidelines and terms that occur in most states. So, what is probate? Probate is a legal process where a court oversees the distribution of assets left after an individual passes away. States may have different classifications of what assets are, but generally it's anything that a person owns that holds value. That's usually real property, personal property, and cash or financial investments. In some cases, probate is not necessary if the deceased individual jointly owns bank accounts or property with another person. When that happens, the surviving co-owner will usually own that property automatically. Also, if a person dies and they have very few assets, such as personal belongings or household goods, those items will usually be passed to the rightful beneficiaries without the supervision of a court. Probate is generally necessary in all of the following instances: when clear title to land, stocks and bonds, or large banking and loan accounts were held in the name of the deceased person only, and the title to these assets needs to be put in the name of the rightful beneficiaries; to collect any debts the deceased person owes; to settle any dispute between individuals claiming they're entitled to assets; or to resolve any disputes about the validity of the will itself. If the deceased person had a will, the will is generally required to be what is called proved by an affidavit or by personal appearance of the individual who witnessed the will. This is to prove the person was of sound mind when they signed the will. One of the first tasks during probate is the selection of a personal representative. A representative will be selected to handle the deceased individual's affairs. In cases where there's a will, it usually names the personal representative. If that person is qualified and willing to serve, they will be approved by the court. If there's not a will, then the court needs to select a representative. This could be a spouse, adult child, or close family relative. If none of those people are willing to be the representative, then the court might choose a lawyer, a bank, or a trust company to serve as the personal representative. In some states, the representative is entitled to amount of the estate, which is usually a fixed percentage, and there may also be extra costs approved by the court if the estate is especially complicated, and to cover extra costs such as court filing fees. After the representative is selected, they will assist in the process of notifying the people that need to be aware of the probate proceedings. Creditors might be notified by a notice published in the local newspaper or other means that will specify the time period that they have to bring a claim against the estate. The representative might also be required to give written notice to any known creditors. About this same time, the representative will identify and value the assets and will file an inventory with the court. This step can be pretty straightforward or very time-consuming. It just depends on the type of assets and the kind of records the deceased person kept. Any debtors that come forward will be the first to get paid out, and it's the representative's duty to ensure that they get paid. This needs to happen before the remaining assets can be distributed to any beneficiaries. In most cases, the representative also needs to prepare state and federal tax returns, any inheritance, gift, or state tax returns, and pay any taxes that are due. One of the last phases of probate is the submission of an account to anyone named in the will, the heirs of the deceased person, and the court. The account is usually prepared by the personal representative and will show all money paid out and all money collected by the estate, and might also contain a narrative explaining the actions taken in connection with the probate of the estate. Once the account is provided and approved by the court, and all unpaid probate expenses have been paid, the remaining assets will be distributed to the individuals named in the will, or, if the person died without a will, to their heirs. All right, everyone. I hope that helps explain the general process of probate for you. If you find this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, if there's any topics you want me to cover in future videos, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Now go forth and be knowledgeable.